What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Fiona Apple. And we're returning to her 1996 debut album Tidal. Thank you again to Adam for providing this and much, much else. And the next track is Criminal, a word that on the surface is quite clear, someone who breaks laws of a given society or community. Of course, laws can be imposed by an unjust or corrupt order, and thus one could be designated as a criminal despite being more righteous on a wider view, but fundamentally it refers to someone who breaks laws that have been established, and in many usages the meaning is more direct or semantically valid, someone who has broken the trust of others in society, someone who tries to exploit, commit violence, or otherwise benefit themselves at the expense of others in a way that is unfair. So I don't quite know how to read the single word title. Of course, there's no additional context. I'll try to catch what I can on a first listen. This is Fiona Apple. The track is Criminal, and it's from her 1996 album Tidal.
I've been a bad, bad girl.
was already really excited to talk about how much I like that tune lyrically and sonically. That instrumental write out of what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes even, that really took it to an even higher level for me. So, okay, sonically, it has this wicked, dissonant, and yet a bit funky jazz meets art pop type of feel with some swagger, meaning it's, a bit wild, it's a bit intense, it's a bit edgy and jagged, even as it has this jazzy smoothness to it. So there's almost like a contradiction in the sonics, and yet it comes together perfectly. There's some cool little piano runs. There's definitely a flute, which is very prominent. There's acoustic guitar, and I think maybe some other elements too. Definitely the syncopated drum beat gives it that walking with purpose type of energy to it. And her vocals, these melodic flourishes, extensions, that one extension near the end where she keeps cycling over and over and over and then rides it out at the end of the measure, that was fantastic. And she just has a very compelling voice more generally. And lyrically, it's funny because it's sort of a mixture of what I said. She's genuinely saying she's a criminal, though it's like on an interpersonal, moral level, but she's also like asking for absolution and forgiveness even before she finishes the acts, and she seems to say that there's a difficulty in terms of what she's doing today versus what she'd rather do tomorrow, and thus there's maybe a difficulty in willpower or in living up to the standard that she would like to manifest. But fundamentally, it sounds like she's saying that she's mistreated a sensitive man, someone who actually has been the only real experience with love that she's had, and thus she would like to rectify, she would like to gain forgiveness from, and she is contrite toward this guy. But she's also saying, look, it's my nature, which I suppose you can see as an unreliable narrator thing, meaning it's easy to blame your nature because then it's not about choices you've made. Then you can essentially say, well, look, this is just who I am. I can't avoid doing these things. And thus you're almost deflecting responsibility. You're still saying it's your fault, but you're saying it's because of your intrinsic makeup rather than placing the onus on choices you've made which you could have done differently. Nevertheless, she is genuinely sympathetic toward this guy and saying she wants to make it right with him because he's the only love she's ever known, but she's also saying very clearly that she has wronged him, and even though she's saying it about other girls, it's like it's a projection or statement about herself that she broke a boy just because she could, not really because she should have, not because he deserved it, but because she was in a position of control in the relationship, and she eventually manipulated or otherwise imposed upon him in a way that was not fair, maybe left him brokenhearted, maybe cheated on him, maybe just was domineering or unfair in their interpersonal relations. But she's aware of this and she would like to behave better, but she's also not entirely confident that she can, and again, she's putting that down to her inherent makeup, her, moral DNA, even if, again, maybe from the outside looking in, you would say, yes, but you still made choices, and you could have made different choices, and thus you don't have to be what you are, even if you feel like it's your fundamental nature. So it's one of those songs where you wonder if the narrator is truly depicting the situation accurately, or if we're hearing it through their eyes and their mind. Nevertheless, I think it's very well composed. I love her vocals, and the sonics had this swagger and wickedness even as there was a smooth jazzy feel, which is not an easy dynamic to construct. So once again, shout out to Fiona, big thank you to Adam. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.